We're here inside the Wicked Cut studio in Southlake, Texas, where the Dragons are taking on the ESD Eagles tonight. And there's a stellar cast of college commits from UVA to Vermont to Army West Point to Westminster out in Utah and to Washington and Lee and Dalton. If you're a coach, if you're a former player, if you're a person watching these games in the state of Texas, you got to be really excited about these matchups tonight.
You're certainly right, and there's no shortage of talent that's going to go play at the next level. With Southlake, you have a star-studded cast, and Luke Skanga and Jack Monero that are going to go play at Utah and West Point. Then you add in Neil Shinoy, who's going to go play for one of my all-time favorite NCAA coaches in Chris Fife, who is the leader of the Vermont Catamount's. ESD has plenty of NCAA commits on their own sidelines, with Blair Brennan, who's going to go play NCAA Division III at Washington and Lee, and then also Hunt Sands, who will go play Division I at St. Joe's. But the real game changer in this matchup is going to be Sean Brown, who is a UVA commit. I got to think he's the best player in Texas right now, and he has been their #1 offensive threat since he was a freshman.
If you take it to the sideline now, you have two coaches, former NCAA experience, Bruce Frady, head coach of Southlake, former coach at UNC, Jay Southern, head coach of ESD, formerly, most recently, I believe, at Bellarmine. The X's and O's here seems to be a little exciting if you're looking at it down the scope of it.
Yeah, it's going to be super exciting. Yes, they're early in their careers down here in Texas, but they've certainly made significant impacts in their respective programs. Coach Southern has already brought home a state title for the ESD Eagles. Unfortunately, I was on the other sideline when that happened, and I had a front row seat to former ESD and current UVA defenseman Scott Bowers completely dominate. He probably had 15 or 20 GBs in that game and put the team on his back. With Coach Frady, who's a former colleague of ours, he's one of the best minds in the game, and he's going to bring out the X's and O's without question. I gotta think he's gonna have his Dragons prepared for tonight's matchup.
And shout out to another 3D employee, former contract coach Kevin O'Rourke on the Southlake sideline, Army grad in '93. He's got to be excited about Moreno's commitment to the United States Military Academy. We are here inside the Wicked Cut studio. We're gonna take it to a break, and we'll be right back after this.
We've done both, new and pre-owned. It's the same experience. It's everything's the same. They make it too easy to even think about going anywhere else.
Discover our wide variety of pre-owned vehicles at Sewell.com today.
You've never been one to fear the unknown. That's because you've seen seasons like this come and go, just like many of your competitors. You know your outcome, stay focused, and take calculated risks, seizing opportunities when others freeze. The truth is, winter business cycles separate the good from the great, and winter is your season. Ours too. That's why for over a century, we've been honored to serve you. Vista Bank, entrepreneurs banking entrepreneurs since 1912.
And here we are in Southlake, Texas, ready for the action to start. The Southlake Dragons hosting the ESD Eagles. Dalton, I'm ready, man. I'm fired up.
I don't know what to tell you. I don't know why I spent so many years on the sidelines when I could be in a press box like this, and a lazy boy, and a lifetime supply of Wicked Cuts.
That was, I'm excited. I'm looking forward to halftime, ladies and gentlemen. Just so you're aware, once we go to halftime, we got a little bit of a challenge for you tonight. Coach Jernigan's going to try some of their, was it Carolina Killa Reaper?
Carolina Killa.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, so we're getting ready for the national anthem. Here we are tonight.
Because we are in America.
Yes, correct, yes. And teams are going to be lining up here shortly, and we're going to be underway with the first face-off here in a second. Let's listen in. God bless America indeed, as we get ready to start the first quarter here. Dalton, I'm really excited to watch Neil Shenoy face off.
Yeah, he's a very skilled face-off personnel. It's going to be huge for him today. If they could retain possession for Southlake and keep the ball away from Sean Brown, that's going to help Southlake a ton.
Just like we mentioned in pregame, too, the matchups between the attack, the defense, talking to Coach at the latter half of last night about his face-off guy, Will Brenners. Over 55% last year as a junior, and the same thing with Michael Cohen. Equal face-off stats right there, so anticipate a pretty solid matchup at the dot.
And if I'm Coach Southern, what I'm going to do is I'm going to rotate those face-off guys in. Who knows, maybe mix a pull-up. If you have one guy that's getting hot, you got to play the hot hand. But having that tandem duo can really wear him down.
Yep, both teams breaking their huddle now. Coach Frady getting his guys out first.
Hey, Chris, I know we don't have a national title tonight, but we are accepting sponsorships. So if there's any title companies out there, maybe a Texas title, Chicago title, Newmark title, feel free to give us a holler. We'd love to take your sponsorship.
Yes, that's indeed, you are correct. If there's any Southlake parents or ESD parents out there that are looking for us to read any ads or run any commercials during this broadcast, we're happy to do so. Please contact Game On Sports Network. And the starting lineups being announced here. The Southlake Dragons wearing their green and white numbers tonight, and the Eagles of ESD donning their navy blue and white unis for their road game status. The goalies are going to cross now, and we're getting ready to get underway here at Game 2 of the Texas High School Lacrosse Game of the Week.
Number 17 senior and captain Austin Baldwin. The number 49 senior Arya Milano. The goal is always number 6, Simba Moser.
And the Eagles getting ready to take the face-off. Coach Southern talking about Eddie Ellefson being the leader at LSM for the Eagles tonight. This should be a pretty solid ground ball matchup for him as well, as the face-off guys dig in. Scrap at the middle of the field. Tripping up. And it looks like it's going to be picked up by Southlake. And it's their first chance here on offense.
And Chris, it looked like ESD did a really good job timing that whistle, retaining the ball, but then you got to give Shenoy credit with that reverse hook to dislodge the ball, and then obviously the wing play.
And here's the man that we talked about a little bit in pregame, Jack Moreno with the ball. He's going to swing it over to the top. And as we get to the first 6-on-6 set for the Dragons. And dodge down the righty alley, throwback pass. It's tipped, and it's rolling towards midfield. Let's see if they can keep it from the over and back. But it's going to be picked up by ESD and down the wing. Looking to make something happen. Little quick
pass.
Little 3-on-2. Shot. Oh, rings the post. Going to be rebound Southlake. Looking to clear.
Beautiful outlet.
Yeah, that was a nice ball right there. Zane Mimoser, solid status right there inside the pipes. Good poise on the clear as well to get it out to the sideline. As the Dragons look to initiate on offense. Sheehan, skip pass. Going to be a little errant at the feet. They're calling it a tip, though, from the officiating crew.
Yeah, it was the right idea. You had a good lane there. I just don't think his teammate was ready for it.
And we got a pass up top to the corner. Surveying the field is Max Bouchard, the freshman. Looking to initiate on the short stick matchup. ESD electing to put a short stick on him tonight. Looking for the midfield sweep. Has nothing. Check. Shot. Oh, and it's in! What a rollback right there by the freshman. Coming out of the roll. Lefty take. Dalton, that was a pretty looking goal in the off-stick location right there.
It was, and I think Coach Southern wanted to test him right away. He's a freshman. A lot of times freshmen at this level, there's usually a big size and athletic difference. And they were like, hey, we're going to put a short stick on him. We just don't think he's going to be able to run by him. He obviously proved him wrong. So let's look to see if they're going to keep that short stick matchup or they're going to respect him a little bit more and put a long stick on him.
Certainly noting it right there, talking to the parents in the booth before the game, saying that I'm going to be saying that kid's name a lot, so I'm looking forward to it. Face-off won by ESD. We're going right down the pipe for the 4v3, but the Dragons do a good job of stopping the transition. And ESD looks to tie the game up as we get a pass down to that lefty wing.
And Chris, there's no question that Max Bouchard is not one of the best, if not best, 26s in Texas. It's just really a matter of how is he going to match up against a 17, 18-year-old.
Yep, there's the man that we mentioned in the pregame, Sean Brown, the UVA commit. As there's a little bit of a fumbled pass there on the initiation. They were looking for a sub game at the beginning of that. Brown elected to be a little bit patient with it as the Eagles go to initiate on the other side of the field. Shot just bouncing over the cage. Little scrum in the corner.
And that's two excellent approaches by Dobie. He had that first one. He approached with his stick out in front. Some people say leading with 6 to dislodge the ball against Brown, and then was putting pressure on the end line.
Picked up by Xander, swinging it over to the lefty alley. Initiation down the side. Ball back to the middle, surveying the field, but the pass is going to be tipped, and it's rolling towards the sideline. Little scrum in the corner. Picked up by Southlake. And Southlake's going to look to clear this ball.
Yeah, I think we had a bit of a snatcher on that catch.
Yeah, stabbing at it. It's not tennis. Oh, there we go. Successful clear by the Dragons. And they look to slow things down to get their offensive personnel as they sub. Bouchard with the ball.
Coach Frady's doing a great job in retaining possession and being under control and working the ball, creating multiple different slides so they can get a layup.
Yep, ESD clearly trying to respect Moreno as there's a sweep to the middle of the field. The Army commit looking for the ball, and he has it. Two-man action on the wing. Elects to not use the pick. Pass to the inside, picked up still. Oh, but it's going to be a little bit errant, rolling towards the sideline. And that's going to be ESD ball. And then we have Charlie Newhoff trying to clear it, but it's going to be picked up by Southlake. Transition on the inside into Bouchard. Shot. Oh, and it's going to go wide, but no one's backing it up. And they're going to give it back to ESD.
Got to give Dugan credit on that ride. 2 hands on his stick. Played really good possession. Great breakdown on his approach.
And ESD looks to clear the ball here up the near press box sideline. And they're successful with it. Ball working down the side. Exactly what you're trying to do when you're clearing the ball. Get the ball down the side. Kind of like throwing a football over the middle of the field. You never want to clear it over the middle of the field. That was just a shot and a goal by the Eagles, and they tie up the game.
Cooper Rainey does a great job stepping in, getting sideways in that pre-shooting platform. Quick release shot.
Yep, down the side is what you want to do. Get it through X, let the personnel sub potentially, but look to always test. That's the name of the game in the shot clock era.
And we talked about this last time. Goalies need to be set before they make a save. And that's why you want to move the ball and get that shot off as quick as possible so you can get that goalie when he's trying to cover that near pipe.
Yep. And the UVA commit Chinoy digging in against Brenners. Going to be picked up by Southlake on the wing. Nice GB running through it. And down the side comes Southlake. Patience on offense here as the personnel looking to sub. Bouchard over to the corner. Up as we swing it over to the wing. Box fake, nothing doing. Over to Monero. Alley dodge, surveying the field. Monero on the foul, but we elect to throw it to X. Skip pass, rolling towards midfield. But Southlake going to retain possession. Shot clock winding down to 30. As there's the initiation, little fumble of the ball there. Well, again, there's going to be a flag down on the Eagles. Second flag, looks like Southlake maybe wanted a call. We're going to have to cut to the sideline, but there's still a free play by Southlake. Pass is going to be tipped, still picked up by Southlake. Monero coming out with it, swinging it to the wing. Attempted pass to the inside, behind the back goal! Wow! Wow, very nice, and the fans here are excited. Certainly going to pick up that feedback. What a behind-the-back play right there.
Hey, and Chris, you got to give all the credit to Monero. He did a great job of getting that ball inside, recognizing, hey, we have a free play, pulling it out, and finding the open man.
And if you're Coach Alberici for Army, you're excited about that one. If you're watching this feed right now, that was a solid play on the inside by Monero, swinging it out to the perimeter, patience on the wing for the inside pass, and we have a 2-1 lead for the Dragons. Dalton, that was a heady play on the inside right there too by that attackman. Fake and finish around the body.
Well, and one of the misconceptions is on behind the backs is a lot of you coaches, it's more of an old school thing, is like, oh, that's hot dogging. But actually, it's a very useful skill set because you had him running out of his shooting angle. The more you're going across the cage in your strong hand, the more you're going to decrease your shot. And by throwing that stick behind your back is actually increasing your shooting angle and allow them to put 2 on the board.
And talking to Coach Frady last night about Tyler's, mentioned that he had some college offers, but there hasn't been a commitment yet. So we're looking forward to hearing that news as the season goes along, as ESD is going to clear this ball and look to tie the game. Over to Brown. And he's going to potentially look to test his matchup here. And Dalton, if you're ESD, I mean, you got to start, you think you're going to get Brown started here on this possession here.
Right now, obviously Coach is getting his personnel in there. They're subbing up. It looks like they're trying to set up the offense. They're listening for a call. But they just got to start working their initiators. We need to see either Brown, Sands, one of those two step up, and then really start to swing the ball to get that defense rotating.
Yep, and here we go with the Eagles again. They elected to have a little bit of patience here. First corner winding down, just getting under 5 minutes here in the first. Southlake with a 2-1 lead over the Eagles. Eagles with the ball on the wing, as it looks like Southlake potentially into a zone here. Shot goal by ESD. Outside shot. Cooper Rainey on the perimeter. Looked like Southlake was in a little bit of a zone on that one, flowing with that 3-3.
Yeah, Rainey gets really the defense to bite. You see that defenseman suck in, and then overhand hammer, really well placed shot.
Yep, very nice overhand to the pipe. That's why you always hear it in those youth practices with those coaches shouting, overhand. There it is right there. As we look to face off here. Backward win by Shinoy.
I think Shinoy's really starting to get in a groove now. He needed to get that first one out of his system. He's really starting to settle in now.
Coach Fifes at Vermont had some really nice things to say about the kid. They're looking forward to having him for the Catamounts in the future. There's going to be a timeout here. For those of you just joining us at the Texas High School Lacrosse Game of the Week, we have the Dragons of Southlake 2 and the Eagles of ESD 2 with 4:30 left to play. We'll be right back after one of these messages.
We've done both, new and pre-owned. It's the same experience. It's everything's the same. They make it too easy to even think about going anywhere else.
Discover our wide variety of pre-owned vehicles at Soul.com today.
You've never been one to fear the unknown. That's because you've seen seasons like this come and go, just like many of your competitors. You know your outcome, stay focused, and take calculated risks, seizing opportunities when others freeze. The truth is, winter business cycles separate the good from the great, and winter is your season. Ours too. That's why for over a century, we've been honored to serve you. Vista Bank, entrepreneurs banking entrepreneurs since 1912.
And we're back here with Game 2 of the Texas High School Lacrosse Game of the Week. Southlake tied with the Eagles of ESD. And Dalton, it looks like Sean Brown might be heading towards. Oh, no, never mind. My apologies. I thought he was going to be trying to help out there. Correction.
No, his job's score goals.
Yeah, exactly. That threw me off for a little bit there.
Lars Tiffany wants him to score goals.
I would agree. If I'm Lars Tiffany as well. Coach Kirk is probably pretty happy about him too. As Southlake looks to come out of their timeout. Let's see what Coach Frady has drawn up for the boys. Bouchard looking like he was going to set a pick. Has nothing. And they're going to call a loose ball push. Southlake going to retain possession. Fresh 80 on the shot clock. Yep. And that was Tyler on the attempt, but still retains possession for the Dragons. Running into a little bit of a double team. Packed to Bouchard. Up to the wing. Sweeping to the middle. Solid defense by the Eagles there to keep him out of the middle. Shot just wide. It's going to be backed up by the Dragons. And Bouchard off the end line. A little bit of movement up top there by the Dragons there, Coach Jernigan.
Really been impressed with Coach Frady's group, knowing when to not run into the double team and pull it out, showcasing some high lacrosse IQ tonight on the offensive end.
Solid effort out of the Dragons so far as we're at a tie game, but there's a shot and a goal by the Dragons just in time. Coming out of the timeout, Luke Skanga, the Utah commit, on the righty sweep.
And what you saw there, Chris, is Skanga does a really good job, even though it looks like an overhand shot, kind of torsing his Corso to hide that shot before you move it.
Yep, showing.
Great job here, hanging on the ball, but then also running away to avoid pressure. Ideally, you'd probably want Sheehan to shallow cut underneath so that guy can't double.
So always want to remember when you're running, run underneath the ball, never over it. Can't tell you how many times we see that at a youth practice or a rec league practice. Face-off going to be picked up on the wing by the Eagles.
Some excellent wing play by Harrison.
Talking to Coach Southern, the LSM unit he had mentioned is pretty stellar in the middle of the field.
ESD might have gotten away with an offsides there.
That looked like a little bit. Shot save by Mimoser. As we look to clear with Southlake.
Chris, one of the things I think would be helpful with the fans, and we just kind of talk about offsides and how officials count that to determine, because sometimes it can be confused just by the simple subbing game.
Just so you know, it's pretty simple for those of you listening. You just got to count to 3. If there's 3 back, there's usually an easy time to attack. It's not offsides. If somebody does go over and there's only 2 back, then you're offside. Sometimes it can be a little bit of an issue there, too, with the substitution in the box. So that's another position that's important on a coaching staff, making sure you don't have 7, because then they'll just send it the other way.
7 in the offensive end is going to be offsides every single time. Sometimes, if you're not counting the goalie, the 2 defensemen, it might appear like it's offsides, but they could just be subbing through the box.
Yep. Shot there, saved by the Eagles, and it's picked up by Southlake. And we're looking to initiate from the corner. Eagles sliding early. Shot's going to bounce off the turf, not hit the cage. Race to the end line. Ref's going to keep it with the Dragons. And it looks like Bouchard is going to take the ball back in bounds and get it back behind as they swing it back to the wing. And Quinn Tyler with the rock right now. Little short-to-short two-man action. Sweet pass to the inside shot. Oh, and it's just going to bounce over. And the Dragons, again, retain possession. Some quality shots right here on this possession.
And, Chris, I've been really impressed by Sam Sheehan, the freshman. He's getting a lot of burn, and it's really his speed. He's getting a lot of separation from the ESD defenders.
Tyler leaning in, going down the lefty alley, box fake, nothing doing. Swings it back up to the corner. And it's back over to the righty wing. Shot wide again as the shot clock starts to wind down here at 25. Bouchard.
Looks like they're set up a little big little action.
Yep. Looking for a switch. ESD does a good job getting through it. Going to attack the opposite side of the field here. Bounce away, pass to the inside. Shot and a goal! And that was a nice play right there. Christian Coniglio with the finish.
Beautiful off-ball cut, great vision.
That's a solid bounce away attempt right there. Coming off the end line, swinging it through X, getting the defense's head moving. And Coniglio with the off-ball cut for the righty finish. Solid stuff right there out of the Dragons as they take a 4-2 lead with just over a minute left here in the first. And here we go. Neil Shinoy digging in again against Brenners. Little lock up here as the midfield units try to find a butt end. Snap back clamp right there by Shinoy getting over the ball. Little bit of a hip check right there. The ref has his hand up, and they're going to keep it with the Dragons. Parents don't like that call, but kind of looked like he got him in the back there.
Yeah, I think we're going to give it to the Zebras on this one, not the fans in the crowd.
Usually if he's leaving his feet and someone's standing behind him, it's probably a push. As we watch the Dragons initiate on offense here. Another fake, nothing doing. Solid defense out of the short stick midfield unit so far by the Eagles as there's an S-dodge underneath, shot wide, and backed up again by Bouchard.
Skanga's definitely getting separation. Just seems like he hasn't gotten a groove and found his shot other than that first one he had, stick side high.
Yep. Electing not to initiate with the two-man. Pass swung over, up top to Skanga. Got the matchup they're looking for. Pass down to the pipe, clock winding down, shot and a save as it's launched down the field by Kolowski. And that's going to do it for the first quarter here.
And Chris, that was a heck of a play by Langston on defense. He did what we call as a hedge, which is almost like a fake slide, which caused Skanga to bounce and move it through X.
Make them think you're going, then snap back into the middle of the field. We'll be right back for the start of the second quarter. It's the Dragons of Southlake up by 2 on the Eagles of ESD. We'll be right back after a sponsorship message.
We've done both, new and pre-owned. It's the same experience. It's everything's the same. They make it too easy to even think about going anywhere else.
Discover our wide variety of pre-owned vehicles at Soul.com today.
You've never been one to fear the unknown. That's because you've seen seasons like this come and go, just like many of your competitors. You know your outcome, stay focused, and take calculated risks, seizing opportunities when others freeze. The truth is, winter business cycles separate the good from the great, and winter is your season. Ours too. That's why for over a century, we've been honored to serve you. Vista Bank, entrepreneurs banking entrepreneurs since 1912.
And we're back in Southlake, Texas. Let's talk about some of our first quarter sponsors and highlight some of the partners helping businesses within the state of Texas. Newmark to be one of them, representing companies throughout the state of Texas. My colleague and coworker here, Coach Jernigan, is a partner there in the tenant rep firm, I believe. So just want to give a shout out to those guys in that group.
Not quite a partner.
Okay, well.
Yeah, I got to do less lacrosse and more cold calls to get there.
I got to stop watching less SVU. I think that's my problem right now. I think everybody's a partner. Too much television for me, that's for sure. As we get ready to start the second quarter, another sponsor that we have here, Roback. Remember, if you're an avid listener of the Pardon My Take podcast, I know I am, go to roback.com, use promo code TAKE, get 10% off your order.
Fantastic polos.
I mean, really.
They really show off your guns, Chris.
I appreciate that. I've been trying really hard. Staying away from the Girl Scout cookies. It's Girl Scout cookie season, so that's a big issue for me. As we get another lockup between the face-off guys, I'm telling you, I was excited about this matchup. Being a former face-off coach at the Division I level, it's an exciting thing.
Chris, I don't know if you checked your phone or not, but I think assistant coach Kevin O'Rourke is trying to call in from the sidelines right now.
Coach O'Rourke, we're a little bit busy right now, buddy. We'll talk to you in a few after the game. What a stellar guy. Nice shot inside. Save right there by the solid Southlake goaltender. Pressure from the Eagles on the ride. Swinging it up to the sideline. As the Dragons get to pass to the middle of the field. Quick 4-on-4 pass to the wing. Shot and a save by the freshman, or sophomore, Kalowski. Picked up by ESD. And we have a Dragon player down. Let's see if the refs call it. As he's slow to get up. Solid effort right there by Duggan.
That was a beautiful transition opportunity, really reading where that slide came from. That's always where you want to work the ball. Probably need to improve on a shot selection.
Yep. Nice effort with a pass on the inside. Looking to make something happen. Pretty solid transition out of both of these teams right now. Playing with some pace. And the Dragons are going to look to try to ride this back. Oh, looks like a little bit of an early whistle. Defender got a little excited. There was somebody wide open.
Yeah, got to wait until the trainer and the injured personnel gets off the field.
Yep. Kind of like Tommy Boy, right? So excited. JoJo with a new pet, right? We're a big movie cast over here.
I'm more of a fat guy in a little coat, personally.
I saw something recently with, I think, David Spade saying that they used to act that out when Spade was in a bad mood. So taking it to the big screen. For those of you that are young enough, Tommy Boy was a movie. I suggest you go look at that tonight after you do your homework. The Eagles successfully clear the ball, and they're looking to try to get within one. And Dalton, I'm still interested to see how they're going to start to utilize 10 here.
Right now, they're really executing Coach Frady's matchup, and Dobie's doing an excellent job. And it really starts with the fundamentals. His approaches have been great with his footwork and also his stick placement.
I agree. Is there a shot right there by Cooper Rainey? Heading to play some club ball in Arizona next year. According to Coach Southern, the last we spoke, one of the leading scorers on this offense for the Eagles. As Brown looks to take it off the end line. Surveying the field with the ball still. Trying to body it in. Quick slide by Southlake. As Brown loses his footing and is going to elect to pass it to a teammate. Sweeping to the inside. Shot and a save. Nice shot. Nice location, but great patience by Mimosa right there to track it to the feet. And as he looks to clear this ball, showing the poise. Clearing successful by the Dragons. As they swing it down the side once again to set up their offense. And the offensive personnel getting onto the field. Sheehan thought about it for a second, but he's electing to work with his teammate on the two-man here potentially. And there's Monero. Pass to the inside, hitch and go. Nothing doing, though. Going to swing it back to Monero. Down to X. The Dragons doing a very solid job tonight, I think, Coach, of just with possessing the ball and showing some patience as we got to dodge to the inside, and the Eagles gobble it up.
Perfect timing. Spot on right there.
Yeah.
We talked about it in the open. Coach Frady is definitely one of the best X's and O's coaches out there. So all you got to do is be a first-time listener. If they trust in their coach like they are doing tonight and just focus on executing his game plan.
Oh, shot and a goal right there.
That's exactly what's going to happen.
And there it is right there. Once again, we're talking about the patience of the offense here, not playing hero ball. This, to me, Dalton, it looks like a unit with college commits on it.
It does. It does. But you're seeing a lot of the younger guys also step up, the juniors, the sophomores, the freshmen. Great job. They're just generating slides, and they're not trying to score in the first shot or first dodge. They're generating a slide, moving it, flipping the field, and attacking ESD on bad approaches or trying to reestablish their matchups.
Yeah, mentor of mine, my former boss, J.L. Rippert at the College of Holy Cross, would always say, grind down the clock, get a possession, get a quality possession. As the Eagles, 4v3 shot just over the cage. That was blistering. Wow. Cooper Rainey trying for the corner.
Yeah, you're going to know where he's at. He's a really good off-ball threat, especially if he could set his feet and shoot. Really look for ESD to continue to initiate with some of their top athletes like Sean Brown. Hunt Sands has been quiet, to look for those skip passes to get it over to Cooper Rainey.
We got a little quarterbacking here to start the offense. Down the alley, shot. Save. Clive Moser rebound's going to be picked up by the Eagles. Oh. Ride by the Eagles here. Not as successful.
Moser's doing a great job being patient and finding the seams in the clear. Yeah. His outlets have been phenomenal all night.
Patience in between the pipes, patience on the clear. That's what you want out of a goaltender. Certainly showing that. And here come the Dragons on offense again. Oh, pass is going to be tipped. Picked up by Brown. Solid hustle out of the Southlake midfielder there to stop the transition. Brown back to the wing to his teammate, but the ball is going to be dropped, rolling towards the sideline, and it's back to Southlake's possession.
Definitely the right idea. You had both those defensemen suck over to Sean Brown, which he's going to do. He's going to take a lot of attention just to mishandle the rock.
Pass to the inside to Monero. It's going to be scrummed with. Eagles trying to fight for it, too.
That was a heady play by Cox. Great hockey skill to knock that over to his teammate.
Yep, and there it is, picked up, and the Dragons are going to have a free play here with the flag down. Ref's going to call a trip.
And this is what they've done all night. Instead of pushing that when things get chaotic, they really are showcasing their IQ, pulling it out so they can substitute, put their offensive personnel on, and then execute their game plan.
Yep, Skanga being the leader, one of the leaders of this offense. As he goes around the cage, Magellan style, and buries it low by the sophomore, Kalowski for ESD. Solid take right there. Again, like we're talking about, seems to be the theme.
Utilizes the
on
pick,
offense.
Comes around. Unfortunately, ESD is just going for the stick check. You got to turn your hips. You got to get in that V hold and use your body when you're around GLE. And Skanga makes him pay for it.
Yep.
Did you say Jellin, like McJellin, like the old school Dr. Scholl's commercial?
Not a sponsor tonight.
Not a sponsor?
But
Dr. Scholl's, if you're listening.
Yeah, I mean, seriously.
Send a sponsor our way.
Where's the deal here? So there was a flag down. And remember, it wasn't a dead ball foul, so Southlake is going to get the man-up face-off here. And it looks like Cohen for ESD going with the rake against the heavy clamper in Chinoy. And ESD trying to fight it, but the Dragons are going to retain possession and look to get into their extra man.
Chris, the one thing I love, and I know Coach Fifes is going to be a huge fan, is how tough Chinoy is on the GBs. I mean, his nose is right down in the turf. He doesn't care who's checking him, and he's just running through those stick checks to either goose that ball out to one of his teammates like he just did there or retain possession of the ball.
Yep. And coaching face-off guys, some of the best face-off guys I think I coached at the Division I level were wrestlers. Understanding leverage, staying low, getting back to a center point of contact. And right there, heavy scrap by Shinoy and Cohen there. It's going to be a good matchup here tonight. I'm excited. It's continuing to be, at least.
Well, you're igniting some childhood trauma there. My high school coach told me I couldn't face off because I did not wrestle, but I wanted to eat as a high school boy, and I actually proved him wrong. So non-wrestlers can face off.
Yeah, that's true, yeah. And you can have as many Old Bay chips at the Wawa as you can when you're driving from Western Maryland to Frederica, Delaware, right? So there you go. As Monero's going to pass it to the wing. Shot. Going to skip wide as the shot clock's going to run out.
Which that's actually our first shot clock violation of the entire night so far.
Yep. The patience by the Dragons, again, utilizing the shot clock, being patient, trying to wear down this ESD defense as ESD's trying to clear it. And there's going to be an errant pass at the feet. And it looks like Bouchat's trying to hockey it to his teammate. And he's going to come up with it. Solid play out of the freshman right there. And there's going to be a timeout here. For those of you joining us, it's the second quarter at the Texas High School Lacrosse Game of the Week. The Dragons of Southlake up 6-2 on the Eagles of ESD, and we'll be right back after this.
I'll sit down, have a cup of cappuccino, a cookie, read a book. When the car is ready, they come get me. It's a great way to start a Saturday.
Discover our wide variety of new and L-certified vehicles at our Dallas and Fort Worth Sewell Lexus locations.
I'll sit down, have a cup of cappuccino, a cookie, read a book. When the car is ready, they come get me. It's a great way to start a Saturday.
Discover our wide variety of new and L-certified vehicles at our Dallas and Fort Worth Sewell Lexus locations.
Go ahead, commentator. You're live, buddy.
Well, those of you, welcome back here to the Texas High School Lacrosse Game of the Week. The Southlake Dragons up 6-2. Coach Jernigan, it's been pretty action-packed so far.
And Chris, I thought I was going to have to pull out another Anchorman line like last week.
Oh, yeah? Well, you know, sometimes
we got to see that for the end.
Sometimes the audio in the headset doesn't pick up, and I'm sitting here talking to some people, giving me some fun facts. I don't want to say it, though.
No, you'll jinx it.
Yeah, it's the curse of the commentator. Very fun fact. I'm going to wait till after the game to bring that one up. So we'll see if we can save that little factoid for the post game. So what I'm really looking forward to is the halftime show with you. So our sponsor, main sponsor tonight, Wicked Cuts. Thanks to Scott James for lending us his studio today for the pregame.
And it was actually pretty chaotic earlier today. This almost didn't happen because of the weather and some of the logistic issues, but game on, and Scott James with Wicked Cuts did a fantastic job to allow us to be here tonight. Yep. So big thank you to them.
Big fan. Another staple in the youth lacrosse community. Trying to think of some other Southlake parents that have been quite helpful in the growth of the sport. Scott James, certainly one of them. So thank you, sir. Skanga is going to get the ball for the Dragons as he's going to initiate and swing it to X. There's a survey of the field from behind. Skip pass to the middle, back to the wing. Southlake looking to take advantage again of the short stick matchup. As the ball is going to swing to X once again. Southlake doing a solid job once again, possessing the ball and getting it to the shot clock as there's a shot and it's going to go wide, but still backed up by the Dragons. As Caliglio is going to look to initiate again from X.
And a couple plays ago, I got to commend Ellison, who's on the ball right now, his physical play.
Oh, and a shot and a goal by Skanga, the Utah commit. Down the alley, the off-ball opportunistic approach. Takes it down from the righty alley, shoots it to the far pipe, past the sophomore Kolowski.
Hopefully that wasn't the curse of the commentator.
Yeah,
but you see right there, I mean, Ellison does a good job engaging his player, making contact. You know, good rule of thumb is how I've always coached defense. Inside the hashes is on the defense. Outside the hashes is on the goalie.
Yep. Usually a lot of high-level defensive coaches will put a hexagon in the middle of the field, and that'll just outline the hashes. If they're standing on the hash, you should probably go. It's a little bit tougher when you get to M&T Bank at those national title games because those pro hashes are a little bit tighter, so it throws you off a little bit.
Great GB by Blair Brennan, the future general. We'll be heading to Washington and Lee next fall.
As we keep going here, the Eagles trying to climb back into this game with an offense for the Dragons that's rolling as there's a pass inside. Solid job by the defense there. And ESD trying to match the same pace of play as the Dragons, as they're going to try to get another initiation on the short stick from the center of the field. Down the lefty alley. Down to X. And as we swing it back up top, trying to find the short sticks on defense is something that is what Coach Frady has at least preached, is making sure that they're sliding and they're making sure that they're helping their short sticks tonight. As there's a shot by the Eagles, it's going to go wide, race to the end line, and they're going to give it to Southlake. Heck of a hustle right there by the senior Mimoser.
That was two great initiations by Conrodi. I got to think, if I'm Coach Southern, I want to give him the ball more. They're really starting, and that's what they need. He's generating slides, and he's able to move the ball. Shot just a little high there.
Certainly trying to find some life out of that offense for the Eagles ESD, as there's a clearing pass that's going to be checked out of the stick by Bonero. Looking for a push call, and they're going to send it back to ESD.
Chris, I think the fans were actually able to talk the official into that call.
That looked like a little bit of armchair quarterbacking right there, but sometimes you just got to listen. You're looking for the flag. What's going to happen? So, and the Eagles will retain possession on offense. And Hunt Sands with the ball, as they're trying to penetrate this Southlake defense that's been sliding early all night. There it is again. Slide and recover. Coach Frady's got his defense humming here. And it's going to be picked up by Mimoser, as we're going to get a horn for some reason, not sure.
One of the things we've talked about, we certainly have talked a lot about on the defensive end, their approaches, stick placement. Maybe an offside? No, not going to happen.
Yeah.
But really, what you're really starting to see, the impressive thing on the team defense is their recoveries. They're doing a great job U-turning, communicating to each other to find the open man to establish 6v6 again after they've slid.
Sheehan rolling the ball to Skanga. Skanga over to Monero. Two-man to short again. Looking to play with that matchup. And it's going to be Tyler with the rock, trying to sweep to the right. Pass back to Monero on the wing. Shot. Goal! Solid two-man, short to short, manipulating those matchups right there. The throwback for that very nice step down.
And one of the things you might have not seen on camera, what allowed that to open up was the two players in the backside. You saw 17 get a little late there. The two players in the backside, they were just kind of out of the camera, exchanging, causing confusion to the defense off ball to disrupt their slide package.
For those of you that are trying to understand the game here, tuning in tonight, two-man is exactly like a basketball two-man. You draw two to the ball, move it to the open man for the perimeter shot or for the layup on the inside, depending on how it goes. Very, very heady play right there by Quinn Tyler to get the ball back to his teammate.
And we got some young fans up here, Mason James and Quinn Davis, that were exuberant about that play.
Southlake getting possession initially off the face-off, little scrum at midfield. And the Eagles going to pick it up on offense. Transition opportunity for the Eagles. Pass to the inside, back to the pipe. Shot and a goal for the Eagles. Tic-tac-toe, as they say. Transition opportunity down to the wing. Skip pass to the low pipe. And a shot by Montanero.
Impressive passing by Sands and Brown. Pinpoint passes. Getting the balls in and out of their sticks. They're not cradling to allow the defense to come back and recover. Excellent job. They needed that one.
Yep, the Eagles trying to show signs of life here as we wind just over 1 minute left here in the second quarter. And ladies and gentlemen, please feel free to stay tuned for halftime for our Wicked Cut Studio sponsorship tonight as Coach Jernigan elects to take on the Carolina Killa Jerky Challenge.
You're not going to do it?
I don't know. We'll see.
I think both of us should do it.
Yeah, I'll probably beat you over there. I'll probably race you. I had a ton of Celsius, so I'm ready.
You're more aerodynamic with that haircut compared to mine. I have too much drag.
That is true. I flipped on the lights here in the booth, and the parents told me to turn it off because they were blind from the shine. So we're trying to figure that one out. But I think I just need a little bit more powder, right? Isn't that what they do? Doesn't Van Pelt do that?
I don't have that problem, so I'm not as experienced in that field as you.
Yeah, it's true. I'm asking the wrong
But
guy.
Scott Van Pelt, we know you're a Maryland Terrapin lacrosse fan.
That is
So
true.
if you're listening, help a brother out.
Seriously. I mean, from one fellow bald guy to another. Has me definitely on height, though. I can imagine that. So, and here we go with Southlake as the clock winds down to 30 seconds. Look to the inside, going to be backed up by the Dragons.
So you might think 25 seconds is not a lot of time, but that's a lot of time, and the shot clock is going to be greater than that. So they could play this all the way until the end of the second quarter.
As Monero surveys to Skanga. Skanga looking like he's going to initiate, and he is. Quick slide by the Eagles, but the pass is going to go forward to X, and they're going to call a ward on Skanga. Oh, man.
He's going to get unsportsmanlike.
And the palms up. The non-negotiable for a lot of coaches. And the ref not having it tonight. And they're going to tee him up.
Palms up, just never going to work with your coach or the officials.
And my college coach always used to say, what are you doing? It's not raining. What are you doing? Why are your hands up?
Another favorite I have, palms up, palms down, give me a single. Shout out to Rich Moses.
There you go. Yep, Rich Moses.
I stole that line from him.
Former Highland Park head coach, staple in the Highland Park community. Shout out to him. And we have 8 seconds left. Let's see what happens. And they're going to call technical 30.
So 30 seconds. What's most likely going to occur, they're going to hold the ball to retain possession for the second half, especially as Chinoy has done an excellent job after that first face-off in winning those and possessing the ball.
It's just lucky they didn't get it locked in, but they don't. And that's going to do it for the first half here at Southlake High School, where the Dragons of Southlake up 8-3 on the Eagles of ESD. We're going to kick it to commercial, and we'll be right back to the booth after this.
You've never been one to fear the unknown. That's because you've seen seasons like this come and go, just like many of your competitors. You know your outcome, stay focused, and take calculated risks, seizing opportunities when others freeze. The truth is, winter business cycles separate the good from the great, and winter is your season. Ours too. That's why for over a century, we've been honored to serve you. Vista Bank, entrepreneurs banking entrepreneurs since 1912.
Sewell is definitely a part of my family. Everyone, just has this great smile that we are happy to see you. We're so glad you're here. They really care about people, and that's not something you find at every dealership. I love to leave a dealership feeling peaceful, and I've never experienced that until Sewell. I drive a Sewell.
Discover our wide variety of new and certified pre-owned vehicles at Sewell Buick GMC.
I actually look forward to car shopping with Sewell because I know that the whole process is going to be seamless, comfortable, and we're going to be taken care of. Buying a car is a big life event. I just felt very relaxed through the whole process. They put us at ease. There wasn't any pressure. It really felt like we were sitting at home trying to buy a car, especially with the cookies. I drive a Sewell.
Discover our wide variety of new and certified pre-owned vehicles at Sewell Cadillac.
So we're back inside the Wicked Cut studio here in Southlake, Texas, where we have a challenge, I believe, tonight with the Carolina Killa jerky flavor. So, Dalton, what do you think about this?
Well, I'm just impressed you didn't break a sweat sprinting over here. Here you go. You're up first.
I'm not doing this. I'm challenging you. So,
all right, here we go.
You're a braver man than me.
I like the spice. See if I can do it. Challenge accepted. Now available on Amazon.
And we're back here at Southlake Stadium at the half. The Dragons of Southlake up by 5 on the Eagles at ESD. Dalton, how hot was that jerky, though?
Well, it's not my first time I've had it.
Okay.
So I was at least mentally prepared to handle it.
Spoiler alert.
After we went off camera, it did catch up on me a little bit. Especially when I had to put on my Vader helmet.
Well, yeah, well, there you go.
And then I'm kind of like breathing it back in, and it's getting in my eyes, and I'm watering.
Turning into pepper spray.
Somebody give me some milk.
Yeah, well, there you go. That'll happen. Well, hey, man, that pregame certainly lived up to it. Southlake showing a ton of patience. Solid performances out of all the guys on offense so far.
They're playing with a lot of confidence, their patience, and just their ability to execute the game plan that their coach gave them is really showcasing not only their coachability, but their lacrosse IQ. And they're really working for great shots. They're not looking to take their first shot. They're really breaking down that defense. As you had mentioned, you know, the reference of grinding them down, and it's paying off.
And you got to mention that goal by Quinn Tyler, the behind the back at goal line extended, or as the BTB at GLE you previously mentioned. That's the abbreviatory term for all of you people out there that are still new to the sport of lacrosse. Tons of abbreviations because saying goal line extended and behind the back tends to be a little bit of a mouthful. But switching it to the other side of the sidelines here, if you're Coach Southern, what are we saying to the Eagles here at halftime?
I think it's, hey, more communication, especially off ball. That last goal Southlake was able to get. They were able to disrupt the slide package because of the off-ball movement. So they have to be ready to go. Maybe take a page out of Southlake's book on their ability to recover. But you're seeing the difference that probably at the end of the season, I'm not going to be surprised if Skanga and Monero are going to be All-Americans. So you just can't let them – they're going to get theirs, but they just can't have a career night. And then offensively, if I'm Coach Southern, I got to get my guys going. You know, you need more production out of Sands. You know, you need more production out of Sean Brown. You know they're going to go early, you know, in a term that you hear at the NCAA levels is ergo, which is an early slide. But, you know, so if they're going early, we need more off-ball movement. Getting guys working together, setting off-ball picks, finding those seams to cut into. But you're starting to see some other guys step up towards the end. I really liked Conrodi. He was doing a good job of initiating. So really look to maybe, hey, let's attack the short sticks with like Blair Brennan or Jake Swift or Conrodi to start generating more slides and then flipping the field.
Yeah, for sure. And the patience out of that Southlake offense. I'm very honestly interested talking to Coach Frady about Quinn Tyler and his potential offers that he has out there. I'm interested to see where he ends up at the end of his high school career.
And a big testament to that is just the box background. Box lacrosse is the fastest stick and skill accelerator out there. I personally went through it as a player when I was in college. I was fortunate enough to go to school with a bunch of Canucks, and they invited me back up north, and it improved a ton for my game. So I would definitely encourage the young viewers at home and even the high school players out there to play as much box lacrosse as you can. Get out, go watch a Panther City game. There's so much you can learn from just the off-ball play and the speed of the game.
Yep. Well, we're going to be right back here with the start of the third quarter, getting ready for another action-packed second half. It's the Dragons of Southlake 8, the ESD Eagles 3. We'll be right back after this.
We've done both, new and pre-owned. It's the same experience. It's everything's the same. They make it too easy to even think about going anywhere else.
Discover our wide variety of pre-owned vehicles at Sewell.com today.
You've never been one to fear the unknown. That's because you've seen seasons like this come and go, just like many of your competitors. You know your outcome, stay focused, and take calculated risks, seizing opportunities when others freeze. The truth is, winter business cycles separate the good from the great, and winter is your season. Ours too. That's why for over a century, we've been honored to serve you. Vista Bank, entrepreneurs banking entrepreneurs since 1912.
And we're back at Southlake High School. And Dalton, it looked like you were drinking some water there at that commercial break. Are there Reapers? Are they still?
Well, yeah, I was taking some heat. Like somebody's uncle, I think it was like Uncle Mike Lamar maybe over at the Mackey Law Firm, was really upset he didn't get to see me eat the whole bag. Yeah. Happy to do that. We'll even do it on air. But don't forget to call Game On Sports. Throw a sponsorship our way. And we will do that next time.
I know that you're listening, Uncle Mike.
Just for you, Uncle Mike.
I know you're listening. Jason,
get out that checkbook.
Jason,
Yeah.
I have a feeling you're sitting next to Mike, maybe in that bar. I don't know. That nice little Persian rug area that you guys have.
Seating's almost as nice as the Southlake press box with the recliners.
I'm really, I was honestly, I think I could have taken a nap. So I don't know though, but that was a very comfortable studio. Thanks again to Scott James. For those of you that are just joining us here for the start of the second half, this is the Texas High School Lacrosse Game of the Week with the Southlake Dragons hosting the ESD Eagles. And for those of you that are also just joining this broadcast, we picked our third game, and it's going to be the Westlake Chaps coming into town to play the ESD Eagles. And we're coming out here this time out. Westlake, how about them?
Massive win on Saturday. First time in program history where they beat Dallas Jesuit.
And the Eagles, and for those of you that are trying to understand the rules as well, there was a dead ball, and that flag was still down. And the Eagles had possession of the lacrosse ball, so they start the second half without having to face off. And that pass is going to be over the head. And it's going to roll out as Southlake looks to try to kill the penalty. Or potentially throttle it to get a shorthanded goal.
Chris, it's a little chilly out here, a little colder than our last game. Seeing a lot of parents with Yetis. So any of those Yeti decision makers down in Austin, I think you guys, your logo, maybe a couple cups on the Game On production for the Game of the Week would look fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, I talked to Coach Burke recently about his win over Dallas Jesuit. He's a pretty big Yeti guy, too. So.
Yeah, I think he said he would love to see Yeti have a sponsorship. So
I think our producers in the booth like that one, too.
Yeah.
So
if you hear us down in Austin, feel free to write us.
Yep. Skang is going to initiate here again. Monero popping off ball, looking to be the outlet behind. And it's going to trickle to him as he looks to kick it out. Tyler swinging it back over to Skanga. Shot and a goal. Again, we keep mentioning it. We've mentioned it 3 or 4 times. The patience by this offensive unit, and they're rolling.
But it's also the decision-making in the chaotic moments. And what you didn't see in that replay, obviously Skanga's having a lot of success down that righty alley, and a lot of it's because he's shooting overhand, maximizing his shooting angle. He's not dropping his hands or trying to shoot sidearm, which is going to decrease your angle even more. But what you didn't see in that frame is the patience. When a double team comes or the ball's on the ground, they pull it out and they move the ball, and they attack the weak side.
In tight, finish it right, as they say. Or maybe that was just my college coach. I'm not really sure. But solid ground ball by Shinoy right there. The Catamount commit into his rhythm at the dot. As the Dragons retain possession on offense and are looking to capitalize on their lead. Tyler looking to quarterback it to the freshman. Freshman not having it yet. As he swings it back over to Tyler. And it's kicked to Skanga, the Utah commit going down the ready alley. Bellies the slide, shot just wide, and backed up by the Dragons. Looks like Luke Skanga playing with a little bit more confidence after a couple of those initiations.
Really, after getting that goal, is certainly going to give you more confidence. But he started dialing in his stick, and he started getting more shots on cage.
Yep. Pass to him right there, going to be dropped, but he still picks it up. Swing it over to Bashaw.
As we talked about earlier, I mean, there was some rain earlier. It's a little humid. That pocket could have bagged out, tightened it up second half.
Does tend to mess with it a little bit. As there's a shot wide by Skanga.
Chris, I feel like you were probably a monster mesh guy back in your day.
Yeah, I think when I first started, I mean, my first stick was the STX Diamond with the high wall stick. So it was... Mom came home with it, second grade from Lax Unlimited in East Meadow, New York. So that's a throwback for you right there.
With a chicken cutlet?
Not with a chicken cutlet. We were a very big Italian, Irish-ish family, but yeah, no cutlet. I wasn't privy to the cutlets yet. I think I was only 11, so 10 or 11, something like that. I can't remember. It's been a while. I'm dating myself.
I remember my first chicken cutlet.
Shout out to Mike Ryder if you're listening. A chicken cutlet is not a Publix sandwich.
That could be a pretty good substitute. Only in Tampa, though.
The constant heated debate between the two of you guys. But R&D Deli. Got to remember that. Great place in Queens. Right by the airport. As Brown's going to sweep it to his left. Hesitation move at the middle of the field. Southlake electing to go early to him. Solid job by the defense for them tonight.
That was interesting. A little bit of a matchup change. Baldwin was there, and when he threw that check, he actually stopped his feet, and that's what allowed Sean Brown to get separation. As a defenseman, when you're throwing checks, you got to keep your feet moving.
Swift originally with the ball on the drift. That senior electing to go to Texas next fall. Shot clock winding down under 5. Surveying the field, pass to the inside, roll away, and it's going to be rebound, shot, and a goal. But Moser, a little bit of a discrepancy there. It looked like the shot clock was winding down.
Yeah,
rebound shot.
I thought
I think I heard the
either
buzzer.
impeccable timing or I thought that shot clock might have been.
Refs are going to give it to him. Fans here also trying to let the officiating crew hear it.
Unfortunately, we do not have the red light like in the NHL or the NBA.
Yep, and Swift taking out the garbage on that rebound as the Eagles try to get back within 5 here. For those of you just joining us here at the Texas High School Lacrosse Game of the Week, the Dragons at Southlake up on the ESD Eagles 9-4. And we're just over 7.5 here in the third. And Shinoy, the Vermont commit, is going to help keep his team the ball.
Yeah, Brenner's actually got the possession on the clamp, but Southlake's wing play was able to dislodge that, immediately applied pressure on the faceoff to dislodge the ball.
Yep, and Monero with the ball. The Army commit. Should know a little bit about that. Shout out to Jim Heron, Class A85 attackman.
Does West Point have weather like this?
I don't know about that. Jim Heron with once the most goals in a game by Army with 7.
Oh, wow.
Against Montclair State. I think his friends still give him a hard time about that one.
Speaking of West Point, I heard Coach O'Rourke was an avid boxer back in the day.
Yeah, that plea boxing course, that'll get you. So, and shout out to Kevin.
Oh,
we appreciate
incredible
the
save.
FaceTime in the middle of the broadcast too, buddy. That was solid stuff right there. And the Eagles are going to stop.
We'll have to tell Game On to be prepared to take those in-game calls from the coaching staff for Game 3.
Yeah, that is a true test of a broadcaster's mettle right there. We might need to get a microphone in here if we're going to do that, though.
Hey, just like we tell the kids, it's all about getting better. That's how we determine success is based off of improvement. We want to continue to get better and improve. And we also want our sponsors to get better and improve.
That is true. It's all about reps, especially when you pronounce somebody's name wrong. As we get Tyler with the ball at X, swinging it to the wing. Eagles into a rhythm here offensively in this third quarter. As a shot's going to go wide by Skanga.
Just a bit outside.
Yep. For those of you that are big Bob Uecker fans. Those youngsters out here listening.
What about Harry Carey?
If you were, yeah, that's another party trick if you can do that Will Ferrell skit, that's for sure. Box fake, nothing doing to the wing. ESD rotating but stopping the offense.
Great job moving it forward.
Stepping in, shoots, and scores. Skanga, the Utah commit, stepping in. Little hesitation, backs up the short stick, and delivers a strike to the feet of Kolowski.
Very well executed bounce shot. Southlake was doing an excellent job moving it forward. Sheehan moved it forward over to Skanga. Skanga throws instead of flipping the field because he recognized his matchup was against a short stick. And it actually caused some confusion, and it gave him that space to step in and hammer it home.
Coach Frady keeping his offensive unit patient within this ball game as the Dragons take a 10-4 lead over the Eagles of ESD. A little bit of a hold there. And they're going to elect to give it to the Dragons. ESD fans not happy about that one. As he's getting mauled at midfield. Monero with the ball down the side. Skanga's cutting to the inside. Shot and a goal! Off-ball play by the Utah commit. Very nice job right there by the Southlake offense in transition. And it looks like we got an ESD player down at midfield.
Excellent job here, executing an early offense, having that vision, and Skanga does a great job finding that soft spot, getting under the defenders, and his ability to finish and put the ball in the back of the net.
And just like basketball, transition is key in lacrosse. Settled offense, exactly like basketball. Off-ball movement, draw two, find the open man. In transition, same thing. And defensively, get in and then get out. As we get a solid discussion there by the transition coach. And we still have a player down for the Eagles. Training staff tending to him. Looks like it's going to be Eddie Ellefson. This quick break in the action is going to be brought to you by U.S. Indoor Lacrosse, holding their tryouts on June 12th. For those of you looking to play a little bit more indoor or box lacrosse, as they call it, come out June 12th. Coach Jernigan, a man of many talents on this broadcast. We got Newmark, we got Panther City. Didn't Newmark help Panther City with their acquisition?
We actually did. We had the pleasure of working with the CEO, Greg Bibb, in their expansion. Same ownership that owns the Dallas Wings.
And if you're Coach Jernigan's bosses, please forgive me for calling him a partner. Not yet. So, that subtle hint there.
I got a lot more dialing to do. Dial for dollars.
Dial for dollars. I like it. Not quite Wolf of Wall Street, but it'll do. As Sam Sheehan's going to have the ball. Taking Estodge underneath, shot to Tyler, and it's going to go just wide.
Shot wide, Dragons maintain possession.
Solid take right there. Out of the junior. And Southlake grinding down the shot clock once again. As Skanga is going to take the ball to his left. And it's going to be Sheehan on the initial. To the middle, bellying another slide, out to the wing to Skanga. Shot and a goal, top shelf. Stinging it. Right over the goalie's head, stepping in, getting the hips involved. Time, room, see ya.
And right here, another great job just moving it forward when you have the slide. Skanga steps in with his hands free. Right before that, what you saw is that ESD defender slide to Sheehan, but he slid up high. You got to slide. You got to get lower. You got to get on their hips. Once you get in their hips, that really takes away their leg movement. But Sheehan does a good job of keeping his composure and patience, bouncing, and then moving it over to Skanga.
Patience. Big word we've been using so far on this broadcast, Coach Jernigan. And the Dragon offense certainly into a rhythm here with just over 4 minutes in the third, as they're up now 12-4 on the Eagles of ESD. And it's going to be Conradi with the ball, trying to help this ESD group chip away at this Southlake lead.
Yeah, Conradi's been quiet the second half. He had some success running by his guy and initiating for the Eagles. Look for him to take advantage of the short stick matchup or kick it over to Swift.
And Cooper Rainey initially getting it to the wing. The senior electing to play club ball in Arizona next year. Leading scorer in the Kincaid game, according to Coach Southern. As we have Brown with the ball behind the net. Pass to the inside, just missing the stick. And they're going to call a crease violation on the Eagles. And Southlake is going to look to clear. Well, Coach O'Rourke, again, more phone calls, looking for a sideline report, apparently.
That's got to be a pretty impressive talent. The ability to coach on the sideline while FaceTiming several times during the game.
Another man of many talents.
Impeccable execution.
Yeah, I'm looking for him over there. We'll see.
Don't worry. We'll get Pam Oliver your next game going.
Yeah, we'll be with you shortly, Coach O'Rourke. We'll be with you shortly. Panero swinging it to the wing. Skanga shot deflected by Kowalski.
Eagles coaches to the ball, leave the ball.
And it's going to be backed up by the Eagles as they look to try to clear this ball. Ride by the Dragons. And we're going to get a nice muscle clear out of the short stick midfielder. Down the side. Toe drag, shot wide, race to the end line. And it looks like the near side official looked like he was going to keep it with the Eagles, but the far side official said, no, sir. Solid hustle right there to the end line out of the Southlake defense. And a nice high and away pass. Patience in the clear, something you really can't teach. But Dobie, the senior, very nicely done right there with that up and over. Making it look easy.
That was also a very heady play by Ray, checking to make sure before he stepped over, because they flipped the field. Usually, whatever side the ball's on, the far side has responsibility to stay back in the clear so they don't go off sides. But he checked with his defenseman before crossing.
And we got Declan Ray checking into the game as they're going to skip it to him in the middle of the field. Stepping in, nothing doing. Swinging it to the wing to Sheehan. Back to Ray. And they're going to get it down to Tyler. Solid possession by this Dragon offense. Oh, trickle pass inside by Bouchard, and it's nope, but they're going to wave it off. It's calling him in the crease.
Dragons in the crease.
And the Eagles looking to get the ball out quick and try to capitalize on this transition opportunity as Skanga's subbing. Brown with it on the wing. Pass back to the inside. Sweeping pass, nothing doing. As get another box fake. Pass to the back pipe. Look for a quick stick there.
But that was knocked down by Dobie. He does an excellent job getting a stick in the passing lane to disrupt that pass.
Flipping the hips, rotating in, keeping the stick in the lane, knocking that one down. Nice job right there. Again by the senior. Showing up here in the broadcast.
Kind of like that official on Sunday, getting your guns out, getting sideways.
Or 10-2, right? 10-2. Man ball. Just like basketball. 18 seconds left here in the third as the Eagles are trying to capitalize on this possession. Roll away by the offense. Shot, and it's going to be wide. And backed up by Xander. But they're going to elect to have Brown take the ball off the end line. Over to the wing. Attempted shot and a goal by the Eagles. Cooper Rainey, the senior, headed to Arizona next year to play club ball. There's 1 second left on the game clock here.
Beautiful execution on a quick catch, shoot, release, no cradles. Very smooth stroke there.
Brown doing a solid job with his vision there. Getting it over there to Rainey for the step down on the wing.
And I actually didn't see where Rainey was at. I don't know if he popped off the crease, but that looked like it was a set play because Brown wasn't even looking to dodge. He was instantly looking to feed.
Yep. Well, that's going to do it for the third quarter. One more to go. The Southlake Dragons 12, the ESD Eagles 4. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsors.
We've done both, new and pre-owned. It's the same experience. It's everything's the same. They make it too easy to even think about going anywhere else.
Discover our wide variety of pre-owned vehicles at Sewell.com today.
You've never been one to fear the unknown. That's because you've seen seasons like this come and go, just like many of your competitors. You know your outcome, stay focused, and take calculated risks, seizing opportunities when others freeze. The truth is, winter business cycles separate the good from the great, and winter is your season. Ours too. That's why for over a century, we've been honored to serve you. Vista Bank, entrepreneurs banking entrepreneurs since 1912.
And we're back here in Southlake, Texas for the start of the fourth quarter. The Dragons of Southlake leading the Eagles of ESD 12-5. As we had a nice little almost buzzer beater goal there at the end by Cooper Rainey, assisted by the UVA commit Sean Brown, getting themselves in the assist column and the goal column tonight. And it looks like they're electing to put Moreno on the wing here for the Dragons as the Catamount commit Chenoy digs in to face off. Solid backward win right there by Cohen. And here come the Eagles on their attempted clear. Conradi dodging underneath his man, taking it to the middle of the field. Pass to the inside. Errant pass by Harrison, goes to the feet of Brown, and it's picked up. Eagles retain possession. The Southlake defense digging in, getting in tight. Poke check attempt, doesn't land. Early slide, Brown bellies it, skips it to the perimeter, step in shot. Looks like it was deflected. And there's going to be a flag down. Ooh, man. Soaking one right there to the leg.
That's what you got to do as a defenseman. We call that good eats.
Step in the way, help your goaltender out. If you're an offensive player, try your best to shoot around or screen that goaltender with a shot. Just make sure you follow through.
And that's just an excellent job of being an unselfish, great teammate.
And let's see what this man-down unit for the Dragons has in store for the extra man unit of the Eagles. Yep, there we go. Resetting the shot clock here as the Eagles get that fresh 80. Brown with the ball behind the net, surveying. Over to the wing. Fake and a shot stinging the corner, taping it, no, mind you. The box fake by Rainey, stepping in, top right. That was a missile right there. Hips involved and everything. Look at this thing. Fake, even got our cameraman. Bang!
And the reason why you could do that, the last 3 shots, or I think all of his shots, because they've all been from that wing, catch, release shots. He threw in that fake. You know, the defensemen are expecting, hey, he's going to shoot it right away. We got to get in his hands. But a good rule of thumb, when you got a shooter from the outside that's going to sit on that island and just drop bombs, always get a check in their gloves.
Face-off squirts out, picked up by the Dragons. Solid patience there in transition as the Eagles are trying to chip away here in the fourth quarter. And for those of you that are just joining us after any sort of trivia night somewhere socially, this is the Texas High School Lacrosse Game of the Week, brought to you by Wicked Cuts. Thanks again for letting us utilize their studio for our pregame and halftime. Much appreciated to Scott James. Shout out to that man. And we have the Southlake Dragons getting possession as Monero gets the ball up top and looks to work. Southlake just looking to possess here. Eagles showing a potential zone here as they're stringing the middle. Tyler for Southlake doing a solid job off ball on the inside. Follow the ball, try to flash to it, get the defense to pinch, swing it to the perimeter. As Skanga's going to take that pass that almost went out of bounds. Sweeping shot, rings the pipe, but the Eagles are going to pick up the ground ball and look to leg it up the field. Over to Rainey. Rainey skip past to Brown. Brown, opportunistic dodge right there, but elects to bounce away.
You know, Brown's doing a great job in patience and looking to feed. If I'm Coach Southern, I'm going to push him a little bit. He's a big frame kid. Look for him to get a little bit more selfish in this fourth quarter because he could break guys down. He could really utilize that body to generate some more points as they try to climb out of this 6-12 hole.
And solid communication out of Eddie Ellefson, the junior. Coach Southern had some nice things to say about him, helping lead the defense as the LSM, as there's a shot going wide. Ref's going to keep it with the Dragons.
And that's exactly what we were talking about. Sean pushed it a lot more that time. He did a great job with a really good take there.
As the Eagles maintain possession here. Looking for an initiation in the righty alley, sweeping to the left. Pass to the wing, box fake by Rainey, takes it underneath, has nothing, looks to move it, and he does.
And Southlake did a much better job not biting on that and throwing those extra checks.
And Blair Brennan, the Washington and Lee commit, kicks it over to his teammate, pass to the wing, shot just high. And there's going to be a shot backed up by the Dragons with 4 seconds left in the shot clock. And here come the Dragons on the clear. Pass to Cox.
Yeah, great bounce pass.
Nicely done.
He even faked out his teammate there.
Cox with 4, I believe it, torn ACLs in his playing career. You want to talk about some guts right there. That, my friends, if I'm still recruiting people, I'm probably recruiting them out of character alone right there. That's amazing. As there's going to be a drop ball picked up by the Eagles. And here they come on the clear.
Incredible job by Koloski there, just quarterbacking his teammates in the clear. Unfortunately, an errant pass. Ball goes out of bounds.
Nelson Zander trying his best to keep the ball in bounds there. But it's still going to go back to the Dragons. Oh, it looks like we got another player down in the field. Probably a cramp.
Got to get yourself some liquid IV.
Yep.
Stay hydrated.
Yep. Shout out to those guys. As the training staff's going to tend to him. Got a quick break in the action. Just remember, Dalton, I think we were talking a little bit before about Westlake, as they're going to come up to Dallas to play the Eagles for our third game of the week. And this discussion going on about what happened here between the players and the officiating crew. So we'll see. We'll see if there's any influence out of that one.
As they argue their case.
Yeah. Shout out to the Mackey group. Hope you're listening still, Uncle Mike. All right, we're going to kick it to commercial as they continue to tend to this down. Oh, I'm sorry, my producers in the booth.
Easy there, get a little trigger happy there,
a little
Chris.
trigger happy over here. It's okay. This is what happens. Second game of the week.
And we're in the fourth quarter.
Yeah,
sometimes Chris gets a little excited.
Yep, again.
But that tends to work in your favor because you're the play-by-play guy and you got to talk fast.
I'm also just waiting for my deal with Celsius because I've been drinking so much of it. So we'll see what happens.
If anybody out there has those Celsius connections, we certainly could use that up here in the booth.
We are powered by Celsius after that drive from the Woodlands game. So should have probably put it in the truck. We would have got home a little bit sooner. As Moreno is going to move it to X. Monero. I said Moreno again. Excuse me. Despot by Tyler. But it's going to be picked up by Skanga. Oh, drop pass again. Oh, fumbling a little bit.
Fumbling and a bubbling down the field.
And our fans here in the booth doing a nice job calling the offsides.
That was incredible eyes by official Kevin Oliver.
That was solid stuff right there.
Very detailed, focused official.
Yep.
We got a very good crew out here with Kevin Oliver and Ivan, some of the top officials in North Texas.
Yep.
Which would only make sense with this big matchup tonight.
And the Army commit Monero. I'm going to get it right at least once tonight. As we have the shot clock just ticking under 60. Southlake again showing that poise with this offensive unit as there's a pass to the pipe, but it's going to be whiffed on, and it's going to roll out of bounds. And the Eagles are going to look to try to chip away here with just over 6 minutes left in the fourth. And we got a wide open walkout clear here through the middle of the field. Racing to the middle.
Showcasing that speed.
Attempted pass to Rainey, but it's going to be knocked down by Cox. Oh, and we got a player down. And it looks like it's Monero.
And I think we have another cramp.
Another cramp here.
Liquid IV. We need you out here.
Stop drinking energy drinks before the game.
We need you on the field, and we need you in our sponsorship.
Hydration,
pool.
hydration. A little bit of change in the weather here. I mean, still being a little bit brand new to this climate, the weather changes its mind every day, it seems like. It's crazy.
You've never heard the phrase Texas weather?
No, and I grew up
Didn't you grow up here?
I grew up in Kingwood. It's a whole other thing. That's a whole other thing. It's like living in a sauna.
Dagobah?
Huh?
Dagobah?
I don't know what that is.
Dagobah, Star Wars.
Oh, no. Yeah.
Dallas is Mustafar. You didn't know that?
Wow, okay. Yeah. That movie reference. Stumping the Schwab, basically. I don't like, you got me on that one.
The Schwa or the Schwami?
Well, the Schwab, the show on ESPN, right? The guy that had all the sports facts. That's me with movie quotes. At least according to some of my friends.
He picks it up.
Picked up. Oh, shot. Oh, and it's going to go just in. Transitional opportunity on the turnover by the Dragons. And they capitalize once again in transition. Sam Sheehan, the freshman, taking advantage of the loose ball opportunity The Eagles trying to stop transition, but he stings it just inside the low pipe.
Incredible job in between the lines, which, when we make that reference, is obviously a little difficult with the football lines. You could be asking, what lines is he talking about? But that is a term we use. The restraining line, which is at the 30 on each end, is how we would define that, in between the restraining lines, 30 to 30.
And we got a timeout here on the field. We're going to kick it to a word from our sponsors, and we'll be right back here at the Texas High School Lacrosse Game of the Week.
You've never been one to fear the unknown. That's because you've seen seasons like this come and go, just like many of your competitors. You know your outcome, stay focused, and take calculated risks, seizing opportunities when others freeze. The truth is, winter business cycles separate the good from the great, and winter is your season. Ours too. That's why for over a century, we've been honored to serve you. Vista Bank, entrepreneurs banking entrepreneurs since 1912.
And that last word from our sponsors brought to you by Vista Bank. Steinmetz looking pretty good in that commercial right there.
He's got some pretty good wheels in that, too.
I was going to say, yeah. I mean, where's...
But if you want impeccable customer service, give Vista Bank a call. If you're tired of waiting on hold for an hour, if you're tired to just messaging Bank of America in the app, please call me. Somebody call me. Call me right now, like I do. Make the switch over to Vista Bank.
Coach Jernigan, solid customer service out of Coach Jernigan. I've seen him work firsthand.
Well, I don't work for Vista Bank.
Well, with Newmark, though.
Oh,
we've mentioned that
I appreciate
before,
that.
Right? So, the relationship with Panther City, calling the Panther City games. Now you're calling games with me. Honestly, I'm a little flattered because I do this and I run 3D. So I feel like I need to drink more Celsius
jobs?
and do more things. So
well, you got to get up pretty early.
I mean, I'm starting to do the whole 5:30-ish, get to 24-hour fitness. I don't know. We'll see how that trend goes, though. So
thankfully, I can convince some of my colleagues, whether it's 3D or Newmark, to help take care of my dog, being a single dog dad.
Yeah. And we have it
takes a village, as they say.
Well, I'm getting a lot of those CrossFit recommendations. Shout out to our listeners out in South Bend, Indiana, at the University of Notre Dame. Coach Adam Sear, offensive coordinator for the women's program. All the way from Perth, Australia. Appreciate you listening in.
Which
Eagles.
Coach Sear was a teammate of Chris Feist at the University of Maryland.
That is true. Having eyes for the recruiting with Neil Shinoy, the face-off guy for the Dragons, having himself a night tonight. But the Eagles for ESD are trying to chip away at this Dragon lead here in Southlake. Shot by Brown, rings the post. Box fake again by Rainey. Getting peppered by Cox. Cox doing a good job closing out. Pass to the wing, nothing doing. Swings up top.
Does a great job also in continuing to throw checks and not biting on that fake.
And the ball is going to roll slowly to the sidelines, but it's retained by the Eagles. And they look to knife to the cage. Shot just over. Ref has his hand up. Looks like he landed in the crease. It's going to be Dragon ball.
And Brown's not happy about it.
Yep.
But ESD did a much better job of attacking, and it looks like they're going in a 10-man here.
Well, goalie is out. Southlake trying to get it towards their offensive end. Solid forecheck by the ride for the Eagles.
And I'm going to give a win to the 10-man there.
Yeah,
excellent job.
Skanga wanted it, but the ref said no, sir. And the Eagles are going to go back onto the offensive here.
And if you were joining us late to the party and didn't watch us last week when we were explaining a 10-man, that is equivalent to a full court press that they throw in basketball.
And remember, the goal is open. You can shoot the ball. If there's somebody within the vicinity of the goal on your offensive end backing it up, you can get the ball. As a shot just misses the goal. And it's going to be backed up by Brown, the UVA commit. And we're just ticking down to under 4 minutes here in the fourth quarter here at Southlake High School. Dragons leading the Eagles 13-6 as a high pass is going to go just over the head of Rainey. And the Dragons of Southlake looking to clear. Dalton looks like they're snapping into the 10-man again.
They had success. Right now they're 1 for 1. If I'm Coach Southern, I'm going to keep doing that until we get beat on it.
Looking for the attack unit for the Eagles to apply some pressure. Cox with the attempted shot. It's going to just miss the goal. And that's exactly what we're talking about. Aim for the crossbar. If you aim for the crossbar right there, you got a pretty good shot at that ball going in. And there's going to be another timeout on the field.
And, folks, that's exactly how you bust the 10-man. Once that goalie's out, you shoot it at the cage. You got to communicate with your attackman to get on that end line and back up the shot.
And really analyzing this here 10-man-wise, Dalton, the pressure from the attack is what's going to really help you behind it, right? It's kind of like a blitz, right, in football. Get in the goalie's face, pressure the defenseman. Usually the best athletes on the field are going to be defensemen, right? They're going to be able to handle the ball, especially at the next level. But pressure them, allow that back line to be able to make those decisions and flow with the ball.
And speaking of analyzing, I'm analyzing that Wicked Cuts hat that Scott James is rocking right now and the camo. I wouldn't mind snagging myself one of those. Yeah. But to your point, another thing that I personally have always liked to do is to get that attack to drop back into a deep ride to disguise that 10-man as the defender comes up the field, and then get them to blitz down and then put 4 people pressuring, 3 on the defenders, and then the 4th one on the goalie.
And remember, that offsides rule does also apply in the ride. So usually you can have a few people within the middle of the field applying the most pressure, but you seem to be a kind of a guy it's more of the midfielder's job, right?
It's more the weak side.
Yeah, I would agree. Furthest guy away has the onside responsibility, much like in the clear.
And it's exactly like the clear is whatever side the ball is on, you would have the 2 middies and the defenseman get in a cover 3 zone, like equivalent to football. So you have those zones. The farthest zone away is responsible for the onsides, so that middle rover free safety can then press up.
Yep, as we get back into the action here, looks like Coach Southern's going to elect to double the ball. So again, no goaltender in the net right now.
Slick little play. Right there, Coach Frady had Monero cross the midline, a preset play, and had his defenseman step over.
Yep, heady stuff right there. Nicely done by the Southlake coaching staff. But the ball's going to roll out of bounds, and the Eagles are going to get the ball.
Do you think Coach O'Rourke did that while trying to FaceTime us?
I could see it. I mean, there are apps, I think, now on the phone.
Talk about multitasking.
You can you FaceTime, you swipe up, you still get kind of like the picture-in-picture, like the TVs you had in the 90s, right? I remember those.
Well, he's probably pretty familiar with TVs in the 90s.
I would agree. Yep, absolutely.
Especially at his time in West Point.
Yep. While he's eating a to-go order from Perry's, that's for sure. Oh. Open net attempted shot going to be deflected. And it's going to be picked up by the Eagles. Transition opportunity coming. 4v3 with a trailer. Pass to the wing to Rainey. Rainey shot rings the post. And it's going to be backed up and picked up by the Dragons of Southlake as they look on the counter.
Got an uneven situation here, Chris.
Oh, pass to the back pipe. Right around the goalie for the goal. Southlake adding to this lead. Caniglio with the inside finish. Again, the word we've been using all night, patience. Catch,
great job
fake, finish.
Getting the goalie to move by utilizing those pump fakes. And honestly, Chris, that last goal might have been equivalent of throwing a trident.
Yeah, okay, I like that, yeah. Shout out to Brick Tamblin. That escalated quickly, didn't it?
It did.
Yeah.
He punted Baxter.
What would you do if somebody punted Conan like that? Would you call me in a glass case of emotion? Would you?
Honestly, if they could punt a 100-pound Rhodesian Ridgeback and actually get liftoff, I'd be impressed.
You had to probably be lifting in Scott James's gym, I guess, right?
And my philosophy is if he breaks, he's getting returned.
Only accepting excellence in the Jernigan household.
100%. 60% of the time, all the time.
Yeah, there you go. That doesn't make sense, but it's okay. And the Eagles looking to chip away here with just over 2 minutes in the fourth quarter. Southlake Dragons leading 14-6. As there's a pass that's going to be knocked down by Cox. And it's going to be hockeyed.
Cox really showcasing his radar ability and getting his stick in the passing lane to knock that pass down.
People don't realizing just how hard it is to cradle below your feet. Cox really putting on a solid clinic on that one, as there's going to be some laundry on the field. And it looks like the Southlake bench is going to be fired up about that call here in the fourth quarter. You really got to hand it to these guys on that Southlake unit. They seem to be the unit tonight to watch.
Yeah, I think Coach Frady really had his squad dialed in, and they've done a phenomenal job of showcasing their patience on offense and their ability to execute a game plan.
And Mimosa in the net, and not to mention showing up on the stat sheet, and Jonathan Cox, the senior, helping lead that defense for the Dragons, keeping Sean Brown, the UVA commit, relatively quiet, I believe, just in the assist column tonight. As Monero looks like he's going to start with the ball. I finally got the last name right, Coach Jernigan. It only took me 15 attempts. Sorry, Coach.
And if I'm Coach Frady, I'm utilizing that shot clock. You got about 60 seconds left. You only have plus 20 in the game. Really want to hold it to the last shot.
Eagles looking to double the ball again. But Southlake doing a solid job maintaining possession with some poise here.
That was a great handle by Skanga, scooping it off the turf.
Once again, their best sticks on the field here, with Southlake electing to keep their LSM on the field. Austin Baldwin up top for the Dragons, helping to aid in this winding down fourth quarter. Getting a little chippy here.
Great composure by Skanga.
A little extracurriculars potentially, but Skanga doing a good job not taking the bait. Up. Jumping the ball. Their hand's going to go up. Potentially. I don't know. That might have been a little extracurricular again after the play. And we have a reset. And they're going to keep the ball with the Dragons. And the ESD crowd not enjoying that call.
Yeah, you hate to see that, because all they had to do was to hold him for another 10 seconds, and they would have had a chance to get another ball, but obviously pretty big difference in the score.
Ref's going to say that Bouchard stepped on the line. And ESD trying to clear this here late in the fourth. Clock winding down. And that's going to do it here at Southlake Stadium, where the Dragons take down the Eagles of ESD 14-6.
First time in school history.
That is a very solid win right there for Coach Frady. Had the guys dialed in all night.
Biggest win, I would say, in Southlake lacrosse history.
Shout out to the Western Mass native getting his boys ready for this game. We're going to head to a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back with the breakdown of this game after a word from our sponsors.
We've done both, new and pre-owned. It's the same experience. It's everything's the same. They make it too easy to even think about going anywhere else.
Discover our wide variety of pre-owned vehicles at Sewell.com today.
You've never been one to fear the unknown. That's because you've seen seasons like this come and go, just like many of your competitors. You know your outcome, stay focused, and take calculated risks, seizing opportunities when others freeze. The truth is, winter business cycles separate the good from the great, and winter is your season. Ours too. That's why for over a century, we've been honored to serve you. Vista Bank, entrepreneurs banking entrepreneurs since 1912.
And we're back here at Southlake High School Stadium. The Dragons take down the Eagles 14-6. Thanks to our sponsors in VistaBank, Newmark, Panther City, Roback, especially Wicked Cuts tonight for the lending of their studio. Thanks again, Scott James and US Indoor. Remember, tryouts are June 12th. And Dalton, you got to say, this Southlake group and their poise on offense tonight really, really came through.
Yeah, I mean, you see their off-ball ability, not only scoring, but also creating confusion amongst the defenders. They're college commits, and you see it. Skanga had several goals, just proving why he's going to go play at the next level.
Cooper Rainey and Xander doing a good job for the Eagles. It just wasn't enough tonight for the firepower there. Coach Frady had that defense dialed in.
And you really see why Skanga was so successful because of his fundamental shooting ability. And the same thing on the ESD end with Cooper Rainey, his ability to find seams, to set his feet, and get really solid quick release shots.
Yep, and solid stuff out of the Army commit in Monero and Skanga, but not to mention that pretty behind-the-back goal by Quinn Tyler, another potential collegiate commit.
Yeah.
Well, I gotta say, Dalton, the transitional opportunities that the Dragons
from
had.
The freshman, he really utilized his speed the entire weekend, and then their ability to just finish in the inside.
Yep, and Caniglio with the solid off-ball play, capitalizing on a couple opportunities. As we look on to the Southlake staff enjoying their first win over the Eagles of ESD here at home.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if I see Coach O'Rourke. He's probably trying to FaceTime us.
He's probably trying to come up to the booth here. Well, thanks again for joining us here tonight. This was the Texas High School Lacrosse Game of the Week, brought to you by Wicked Cuts. Thanks again, and we'll see you soon.
So long, Southlake.
You stay classy.